My beloved, before you do anything else, I invite you to pause with me. In a world swirling with urgent messages, each one louder, more insistent, more desperate than the last, you may feel your heart racing, your mind clouded with confusion. Perhaps you've seen promises of instant wealth, warnings that threaten loss, or numbers that seem to dangle hope just out of reach. If you're here, it's not by accident. You are not alone in this moment. Let's take a breath together, right now. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, let the noise of the world fall away, if only for these next few minutes. You are seen. You are heard. And you are safe here. I know how easy it is to be swept up in the storm of confusion. One message says you'll receive a miracle at 8 p.m., another warns you'll lose everything if you don't act now. The pressure builds, and fear tries to take root. But, dear one, what if the true breakthrough you seek isn't found in chasing after numbers or racing against a ticking clock? What if the real miracle is clarity, a gentle, divine clarity that cuts through the fog of fear and brings you back to peace? Let's be honest, confusion is exhausting. It drains your spirit, clouds your judgment, and leaves you feeling isolated, as if you're the only one struggling to discern what's real and what's manipulation. But clarity, true, spiritual clarity, brings rest. It brings you back to yourself, back to God, back to the steady presence of angels who have never left your side. In this space, you don't have to chase after blessings. You are invited to carry them, to receive them, to let them unfold in divine timing. I sense that you've been carrying a heavy burden, perhaps for days, weeks, or even years. The world's messages have told you that you must hurry, that you must grasp, that you must not miss your moment or you'll be left behind. But I am here to tell you, you are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not at risk of losing what is truly yours. The God who sees you, the angels who protect you, are not bound by human deadlines or digital countdowns. They move in love, not in fear. So, let's make a gentle agreement, just for these next 10 minutes. Set aside the distractions. Silence the notifications. Give yourself permission to step out of the whirlwind and into a sacred pause. This is your time to receive, not another empty promise, but a realignment with divine clarity and protection. If you feel comfortable, place your hand over your heart and breathe in the assurance that you are safe, you are loved, and you are guided. I want to ask you a question, one that may open a door in your spirit. What if the breakthrough you've been longing for is not about a number in your bank account, but about a restoration in your soul? What if the true miracle is not a sudden windfall, but a steady, unshakable peace that cannot be taken from you? What if, instead of chasing after fleeting promises, you could rest in the certainty that you are already being watched over, already being provided for, already being led into overflow, not by manipulation, but by divine justice and love? This is not a message of manipulation. This is not a threat disguised as prophecy. This is an invitation to step out of fear and into faith, to move from confusion to clarity, to trade the anxiety of chasing for the assurance of carrying. You are not here to be pressured. You are here to be restored. If you're willing, I invite you to declare softly, I choose clarity over confusion. I choose faith over fear. I choose to receive, not to chase. Let these words settle in your spirit as a gentle anchor. As we journey together, I promise to walk with you, not as someone who holds all the answers, but as a companion who believes in the power of divine restoration. Over the next few minutes, we will explore the patterns that have kept you stuck, the signs that heaven is speaking, and the practical steps you can take to align with true breakthrough. You will not be left in the dark. You will not be asked to surrender your agency or your hope. For now, let's linger in this moment of peace. Breathe deeply. Allow yourself to feel the difference between the world's confusion and the Spirit's clarity. You are not alone, and you are not powerless. The journey to restoration begins not with a frantic chase, but with a gentle, sacred pause. And as you settle into this space, know that the next step is not about striving, but about understanding why you're here now, how your story, your struggles, and your hopes are seen and honored. Together, we will move from confusion to context, from fear to faith, from isolation to presence. Let's continue. Pause for a moment, dear heart, and notice the quiet ache beneath the surface. You are not alone in feeling the weight of financial anxiety, nor in sensing the magnetic pull of quick fixes that promise to erase your worries in an instant. In a world where uncertainty seems to multiply and every scroll brings a new offer, a new warning, a new solution, it's only human to long for relief. If you've ever felt the sting of delay, waiting for breakthrough, for justice, for a sign that your prayers have been heard, know that you are seen, and your struggle is not a mark of failure, but a testament to your hope. Let's name the truth together. The pressure to fix your situation overnight is relentless. It whispers that you must act now or be left behind, that your worth is measured by your ability to keep up, to catch every opportunity before it slips away. But, beloved, you are not a victim of fear. You are a seeker of truth, a carrier of hope, a person who dares to believe that justice and restoration are possible, even when the world says otherwise. There is a sacred difference between delay and release. Delay can feel like a prison, a holding pattern where dreams gather dust and hope grows thin. But release, true release, comes not from frantic striving, but from surrendering to a higher wisdom, a timing that is kinder and more precise than anything we could orchestrate on our own. You are not being punished for your patience. You are being prepared for a release that is rooted in presence, not in panic. Isolation is another shadow that tries to creep in during these seasons. It tells you that you're the only one struggling, that everyone else has found the secret, that your prayers are echoing in an empty room. But the truth is, you are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses, by angels who war on your behalf, by a community of souls who are walking this same path. Presence is your birthright. You are not alone, not for a single moment. Let me share a story with you, a testimony that may sound familiar. There was a woman, much like you, who found herself drowning in a sea of urgent messages. Every day, her inbox filled with promises of instant wealth, warnings of impending loss, and invitations to rituals that guaranteed breakthrough. She tried to keep up, to follow every instruction, to say every prayer exactly right. But the more she chased, the more exhausted she became. Delay felt endless, and isolation pressed in. One evening, she decided to do something different. Instead of responding to the latest urgent message, she turned off her phone, lit a candle, and sat in silence. She whispered a simple prayer: God, show me what is real. Show me what is mine. In that quiet, she felt a gentle presence, a peace that didn't erase her problems, but wrapped her in assurance. She realized that her worth was not tied to her bank account, nor to her ability to decode every sign. She was already seen, already loved, already held. The release she longed for began not with a transaction, but with a transformation. This is your invitation, too. You are not here by accident. You are not here to be shamed for your struggles or to be manipulated by fear. You are here because you are a seeker of justice, a vessel of faith, a beloved child of God who is worthy of restoration. Your longing for breakthrough is holy. Your questions are welcome. Your presence matters. As we continue, I encourage you to take a simple, grounded step. Find a piece of paper or open a note on your phone. Write down one financial worry that has been weighing on your heart. Name it honestly, no shame, no judgment. Then, beside it, write one hope for restoration. It could be as simple as peace in my finances, or as bold as a new opportunity. Let this act be a declaration: you are not defined by your worries, but by your willingness to hope. You are not alone in this. You are not behind. You are not invisible. You are part of a greater story, a story where delay is not the end, and presence is always available. As you hold your worry and your hope side by side, know that you are stepping into a space where confusion gives way to clarity, and isolation is replaced by the gentle presence of God and His angels. Now, as we move forward, let's look deeper at the patterns that have shaped your journey, the unseen conflicts that have tried to keep you stuck, and the ways you can begin to recognize and release them. The next step is not about blame, but about understanding. Let's continue together. Pause with me, dear one, and let's step gently into the deeper waters beneath your story. If you have ever wondered why certain struggles seem to repeat, why lack circles back just as hope begins to rise, why betrayal stings when you least expect it, why promises of breakthrough dissolve into disappointment, you are not alone. This is not a sign that you are cursed, nor is it evidence that you are being punished. Instead, what you are experiencing may be the echo of unseen patterns, spiritual dynamics that play out beneath the surface of your daily life. Let's name the contrast together: betrayal versus protection, scarcity versus overflow. These are not just words, they are the tides that shape your journey. Betrayal can feel like a shadow that follows you, whispering that you are unworthy of trust, that every open hand hides a hidden agenda. Scarcity, too, is a voice, a persistent hum that says there will never be enough, that you must scramble and strive, that overflow is for others but not for you. Yet, beloved, these are not the only forces at work. For every shadow of betrayal, there is a shield of protection. For every whisper of scarcity, there is a wellspring of overflow waiting to be revealed. It is easy to internalize these cycles as personal failures, to believe that if you were just more faithful, more disciplined, more deserving, things would be different. But the truth is, much of what you face is not about your worth or your effort. There are spiritual dynamics, unseen conflicts, that seek to keep you bound in patterns of lack and disappointment. This is not to frighten you, but to empower you. When you recognize that you are not fighting alone, that you are not the source of your struggle, you can begin to move from self-blame to spiritual discernment. Spiritual warfare is real, though it rarely looks like the dramatic battles we imagine. Sometimes, it is as subtle as a persistent sense of discouragement, a pattern of doors closing just as you reach for them, or a cycle of trust broken by those you thought were safe. These are not punishments from God. They are not signs that you are forgotten. Rather, they are invitations, calls to deeper discernment, to a new level of awareness, to the protection and intervention of angels who are assigned to your journey. Consider this: every time you have faced disappointment, every time a promise has been broken or a door has closed, you have also been given an opportunity to see more clearly. Discernment is the gift that grows in the soil of repeated trials. It is the ability to recognize patterns, to see beyond the surface, to ask, is this for me, or is this a distraction? The more you practice discernment, the more you move from being a passive recipient of life's circumstances to an active participant in your own restoration. Let me share a gentle story. There was a man who, for years, found himself on the edge of breakthrough. Every time he thought he was about to step into overflow, something would happen, a deal would fall through, a friend would betray his trust, a promise would evaporate. At first, he blamed himself. He wondered if he was doing something wrong, if he was somehow unworthy of blessing. But as he began to pray for clarity, he noticed a pattern. The same types of disappointments, the same timing, the same feelings of betrayal. He realized that this was not about his worth, but about an unseen resistance, a spiritual dynamic that needed to be addressed, not internalized. With this new awareness, he began to invite Archangel Michael and the angels of protection into his daily life. He prayed not just for provision, but for discernment. He asked to see the patterns, to recognize the traps, to be shielded from deception. Over time, the cycles began to break. He learned to say no to what was not for him, to wait for the doors that opened with peace, not pressure. Scarcity gave way to overflow, not all at once, but in steady, undeniable ways. This is the invitation for you as well. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. The patterns you notice are not indictments, they are information. They are clues that can lead you to greater freedom, greater protection, and greater overflow. Here is a simple, grounded step you can take today. Begin a pattern inventory. Set aside a few quiet moments and journal your recent financial disappointments. Write down what happened, how you felt, and any repeating themes you notice. Do certain types of promises always fall through? Do you find yourself trusting the same kinds of people or opportunities, only to be let down? Are there moments when you feel a familiar sense of dread or urgency? As you write, ask for divine clarity. Invite the Holy Spirit and the angels to reveal what is hidden, to bring light to the patterns that have shaped your journey. This is not about blame. It is about understanding. It is about moving from the shadows of betrayal into the shelter of protection, from the grip of scarcity into the flow of overflow. You are not alone in this work. As you begin to see the patterns, you will also begin to see the hand of God and the presence of angels, guiding you, shielding you, and preparing you for release. As we continue, we will look at how heaven speaks, how signs and confirmations can guide you through the fog, offering assurance that you are on the right path. The next step is about learning to recognize the language of the divine, so you can move forward with confidence and peace. Let's continue this journey together. Beloved, have you ever wondered if heaven is trying to get your attention? In the midst of confusion, when you're tempted to chase after every sign or scramble for every answer, it's easy to miss the gentle ways that God and His angels speak. Yet, the language of the divine is all around you, woven into your days, your dreams, your quiet moments, and even the numbers that seem to follow you. The difference between chasing and carrying is subtle but profound. Chasing leaves you breathless and uncertain, while carrying brings a quiet confidence, a sense that you are being led rather than left behind. Let's step into clarity together. Divine confirmation rarely shouts, it whispers. It comes as a dream that lingers in your spirit, a number that repeats until you can't ignore it, a name that surfaces at just the right moment, or a nudge in your heart that says, "This is for you." These are not random coincidences. They are the fingerprints of heaven, gentle reminders that you are seen, guided, and loved. Perhaps you've noticed certain numbers appearing again and again, on clocks, receipts, license plates, or even in your dreams. Numbers like 66, 777, or 1111 are often used as signposts, not because they hold magic in themselves, but because they catch your attention and invite you to pause. When you see these numbers, it's not a call to chase after a promise or to anxiously decode a secret message. Instead, it's an invitation to carry awareness, to ask, what is God highlighting for me right now? Where is my spirit being drawn? Dreams, too, are a sacred space where heaven speaks. Sometimes, a dream will bring comfort or clarity, offering a glimpse of what's possible or a warning to steer clear of something that isn't for you. Other times, a dream may simply bring peace, a sense that you are not alone, even in the night. If you wake with a dream on your heart, write it down. Ask for understanding, and trust that clarity will come in time. Names can also be a form of confirmation. Maybe you keep hearing the same name in conversations, or a name appears in a book, a song, or a memory. Pay attention to these repetitions. They may be reminders of someone you're meant to pray for, a connection you're meant to make, or a part of your story that is being healed. And then there are the inner nudges, the quiet knowing, the sense of peace that settles over you when you're about to make a decision, or the gentle unrest that warns you to wait. These inner signals are often the clearest form of guidance. They don't demand that you chase after answers, they invite you to carry trust, to rest in the assurance that you are being led. Let's make this practical. For the next 3 days, I invite you to keep a signs journal. Each morning, set an intention, God, help me notice how you are speaking today. As you go about your day, jot down anything that stands out, a number, a dream, a name, a moment of unexpected kindness, or a sense of peace that comes out of nowhere. Don't force meaning onto every detail, simply notice, record, and reflect. Over time, you may begin to see patterns, gentle threads of confirmation that weave through your days. If you feel comfortable, you can even set a gentle time-bound cue for yourself. In the next 24 hours, I will be open to noticing one sign of divine guidance. This isn't about chasing after signs or demanding answers. It's about carrying a posture of openness, allowing heaven to speak in its own way, in its own time. Remember, Confusion thrives when we chase after every voice, every message, every fleeting promise. Clarity comes when we slow down, listen, and trust that what is meant for us will not pass us by. You are not required to decode every sign or to anxiously interpret every detail. You are invited to rest, to notice, and to receive. As you begin this practice, know that you are not alone. The same God who spoke to prophets in dreams, who sent angels with messages of hope, is still speaking today, often in ways that are gentle, personal, and perfectly timed. You are not chasing after a distant blessing, you are carrying the presence of heaven with you, every step of the way. As we move forward, we'll explore the spiritual framework that undergirds these signs, the authority and protection of Archangel Michael, and the assurance that divine justice is at work on your behalf. For now, let your heart be open, your spirit attentive, and your journal ready to capture the quiet ways that heaven speaks. Let's continue this journey together. Beloved, as you open your heart to the signs and confirmations that heaven sends, it is vital to understand the spiritual framework that surrounds you. There is a reason you sense both resistance and reassurance on your journey. You are not navigating this path alone, nor are you left unprotected in the face of unseen challenges. In the realm where the seen and unseen meet, there stands a mighty guardian, Archangel Michael, whose authority and presence are a promise of divine justice and unwavering protection. Let's begin with a truth that anchors you: fear and faith cannot occupy the same space. Fear thrives in the shadows, whispering that you are vulnerable, exposed, and at the mercy of forces beyond your control. Faith, on the other hand, is the light that reveals what is truly present: God's love, angelic guardianship, and the assurance that you are never abandoned. The contrast between fear and faith is not just a matter of emotion, it is a spiritual battleground. Every day, you are invited to choose which voice you will heed. Archangel Michael is known across traditions as the great protector, the warrior of light, the one who stands at the threshold between danger and safety. His sword is not a weapon of violence, but a symbol of truth, clarity, and divine authority. When you feel surrounded by confusion, when fear tries to take root, it is Michael's presence that cuts through the fog, reminding you that you are shielded by something far greater than circumstance. You may not always see the battles being fought on your behalf, but that does not mean they are not real. The unseen realm is alive with activity, angels dispatched to guard, to guide, to intervene in ways you may never fully understand. When you sense a sudden peace in the midst of chaos, when you feel a nudge to pause before making a decision, when you are protected from harm you never even saw coming, these are often the fingerprints of Archangel Michael and his host. Divine justice is not a distant hope, it is a present reality. It does not always look like immediate vindication or instant breakthrough, but it is always at work, restoring what has been lost, righting what has been wronged, and ensuring that no act of faith goes unseen. True restoration is not rooted in manipulation or fear-based urgency. It is born from faith, a trust that God's timing is perfect, that His angels are active, and that you are covered by a spiritual authority that cannot be shaken. Let's pause for a moment and invite this protection into your life. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath. Imagine a radiant light surrounding you, strong and gentle, impenetrable and warm. This is the presence of Archangel Michael, standing guard over your mind, your heart, your home, your finances, your future. You are not exposed to every threat. You are shielded by divine authority. Here is a simple invocation you can use whenever you feel the weight of fear or confusion pressing in. Archangel Michael, I invite your protection and clarity into my life. Stand with me in every unseen battle. Cut away all fear, confusion, and manipulation. Surround me with your light, and let only what is for my highest good enter my space. I trust in God's justice and the power of your guardianship. Amen. This prayer is not a magic formula, but a declaration of alignment. It is a way of choosing faith over fear, clarity over confusion, and protection over vulnerability. Each time you speak it, you are reminding your spirit that you are not alone, that you are not at the mercy of unseen forces, and that you have the right to set boundaries in both the spiritual and natural realms. Let's make this even more practical. When you encounter messages that stir anxiety, urgency, or dread, whether they come from outside sources or from within your own thoughts, pause and speak this boundary prayer. I release all fear-based messages and welcome only what is for my highest good. Let these words be a shield, a filter that allows only truth, peace, and divine guidance to reach your heart. You are not required to entertain every voice, every warning, every urgent demand. You have the authority to choose what you receive and what you release. Remember, the authority of Archangel Michael is not about domination or control. It is about standing in the light, refusing to be manipulated by fear, and trusting that divine justice is always at work, even when you cannot see it. The unseen realm is not a place of chaos, but of order, protection, and love. You are not a victim of spiritual forces. You are a beloved child of God, watched over by angels, and empowered to walk in faith. As you carry this awareness forward, notice how your spirit shifts. Fear loses its grip. Clarity grows stronger. You begin to move with confidence, knowing that you are protected, guided, and never alone. This is the foundation upon which true restoration is built, not on frantic striving, but on the steady assurance of divine authority. As we continue, we will explore the path from delay to release, the practical and spiritual steps that move you from waiting to receiving, from longing to overflow. For now, rest in the knowledge that you are shielded, you are seen, and you are safe. Let's continue this journey together. Beloved, if you have felt trapped in a season of waiting, watching the days slip by as your prayers for breakthrough seem to echo unanswered, know that you are not alone. Delay can feel like a heavy fog, obscuring your vision and tempting you to believe that overflow is for others, not for you. But delay is not your destiny. It is a season, not a sentence. The journey from delay to release is both spiritual and practical, and you have more agency than you may realize. You are not powerless. You are being equipped for a new chapter of overflow. Let's begin by naming the contrast: delay versus release, scarcity versus overflow. Delay is marked by frustration, by the sense that no matter how hard you try, doors remain closed and resources seem to slip through your fingers. Scarcity whispers that there will never be enough, that you must hold tightly to what little you have, that generosity is a luxury you cannot afford. But release is different. Release is the moment when the fog lifts, when doors open, when what was withheld is suddenly made available. Overflow is not just about abundance in your bank account. It is about a spirit of generosity, a sense of peace, and the freedom to give and receive without fear. The path from delay to release is not a single leap, but a series of intentional steps, each one a declaration that you are moving forward, even if the progress feels slow. The first step is spiritual: surrender. Surrender is not giving up, it is letting go of the illusion that you must control every outcome. It is opening your hands and your heart to God, trusting that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Take a moment now to whisper this prayer: God, I surrender my timeline, my fears, and my expectations. I trust that you are working for my good, even when I cannot see it. The second step is practical: awareness. Begin by reviewing your spending, not with shame or self-judgment, but with curiosity and compassion. Where is your money going? Are there small leaks that could be sealed? Are there patterns of spending that reflect fear or scarcity, rather than faith and intention? Awareness is the foundation of change. It is the light that reveals what needs to be released and what is ready to grow. The third step is action. Set a small savings goal, not as a test of your worth, but as a declaration that you are preparing for overflow. It could be as simple as setting aside a few coins each day, or choosing one expense to pause for a week. The amount does not matter. What matters is the intention. Each act of stewardship is a seed planted in faith, a signal to your spirit that you are moving from scarcity to overflow. To make this journey tangible, I invite you to a 7-day money hygiene practice. Each day, choose one small financial habit to review or adjust. On day 1, track every expense, no matter how small. On day 2, review your subscriptions and cancel anything that no longer serves you. On day 3, set aside a small amount, whatever you can, as a seed for your future. On day 4, practice gratitude for every provision, no matter how ordinary. On day 5, bless someone else with a small act of generosity. On day 6, reflect on any fears or anxieties that arise, and surrender them in prayer. On day 7, review your week and celebrate every step, no matter how small. This practice is not about perfection. It is about progress. It is about reclaiming your agency, one choice at a time. You are not at the mercy of delay. You are not destined for scarcity. You are being equipped for release, for overflow, for a new way of living that is rooted in faith and wisdom. Remember, spiritual release often follows practical obedience. As you align your habits with your hopes, you create space for God to move. As you surrender control, you invite divine timing. As you practice stewardship, you prepare for increase. The journey may not be linear, and there may be days when delay feels overwhelming. But every step you take is a step toward release. Let's pause and declare together, I am moving from delay to release. I am stepping out of scarcity and into overflow. I am not powerless. I am being equipped for breakthrough. Let these words settle in your spirit as a gentle anchor. You are not alone on this path. The God who provides for the sparrows, who multiplies loaves and fishes, who opens doors no one can shut, is walking with you. The angels who stand guard over your life are cheering you on. Every act of faith, every practical step, every moment of surrender is seen and honored. As you continue this journey, remember that restoration is not just a spiritual promise, it is a practical process. You are being prepared for more than you can imagine. The next step is to anchor your progress with rituals and declarations, to participate in your own restoration with words and actions that align your heart with heaven. Let's continue together, moving from delay to release, from scarcity to overflow, from hope deferred to hope fulfilled. Beloved, there is a sacred power in the words you speak and the rituals you choose. In moments when fear tries to isolate you, when doubt whispers that you are alone in your struggle, you have the authority to shift the atmosphere with your voice and your intention. Restoration is not a passive hope, it is an active participation. When you declare truth over your life, you invite heaven's presence to meet you right where you are. This is the difference between fear and faith, between isolation and presence. Fear keeps you silent and hidden, but faith calls you to speak, to stand, to join hands with the divine and with others on this journey. Let's begin by creating a sacred pause together. Wherever you are, take a slow, deep breath. Feel the air fill your lungs, and as you exhale, imagine releasing every anxious thought, every fear of lack, every sense of being alone. You are not isolated. Even now, you are surrounded by the presence of God, by angels who minister to you, and by a community of souls who are walking this path of restoration alongside you. Now, I invite you to participate in a simple, powerful ritual. If you feel comfortable, place your hand over your heart and speak these words aloud, letting them settle deep within you. I am shielded by divine justice. I receive what is mine in perfect timing. Let this declaration become a shield around your spirit, a reminder that you are not at the mercy of fear or delay. You are protected, you are provided for, and you are not alone. There is something transformative about speaking restoration into the atmosphere. Words are not empty, they are seeds. When you declare, "I am shielded by divine justice," you are aligning yourself with the truth that God's protection is greater than any threat, that His justice is working on your behalf even when you cannot see it. When you say, "I receive what is mine in perfect timing," you are releasing the need to strive and control, and instead, you are opening your hands to receive with trust and patience. If you are willing, take this declaration one step further. Write it down on a piece of paper, a sticky note, or in your journal. Place it somewhere you will see it each day, on your mirror, your desk, or your phone background. Let it be a daily reminder that you are participating in your own restoration, not just waiting for it to happen. Every time you see these words, pause and repeat them, allowing their truth to take root in your heart. You are not alone in this act. As you speak and write these declarations, you join a chorus of voices around the world, others who are choosing faith over fear, presence over isolation, hope over despair. If you feel led, I invite you to type "restoration" in the comments below. Let this be your public declaration, a way of saying, "I am claiming my place in the flow of divine justice and provision." Your words may be the encouragement someone else needs to step out of isolation and into presence. Remember, rituals and declarations are not about magic or manipulation. They are about alignment, bringing your heart, your mind, and your actions into agreement with the truth of who you are and whose you are. You are a beloved child of God, worthy of protection, provision, and restoration. You are not defined by your fears or your past delays. You are defined by the faith you carry and the presence that surrounds you. Let's close this moment with one more declaration, spoken together. I am not alone. I am not forgotten. I am restored by divine love and justice. Let these words echo in your spirit, breaking the power of isolation and inviting the fullness of presence into your life. As you continue this journey, remember that every declaration, every ritual, every act of faith is a step toward restoration. The next step is to anchor your progress with time-bound checkpoints, gentle markers that help you notice the shifts and breakthroughs as they unfold. Let's move forward together, watching for the signs of change and celebrating every moment of release. Beloved, as you walk this path of restoration, it's natural to wonder when you'll see the fruit of your faith and the evidence of your prayers. The world often teaches us to chase after results, to anxiously watch the clock, to measure our worth by how quickly things change. But the journey from delay to release is not about frantic chasing, it's about carrying a quiet expectancy, a trust that what is meant for you will arrive in its perfect time. This is the difference between chasing and carrying, between living in the anxiety of delay and stepping into the assurance of release. Let's anchor your journey with gentle, time-bound checkpoints, moments to pause, reflect, and notice the subtle shifts that mark your progress. These checkpoints are not deadlines or ultimatums. They are invitations to become more aware of how heaven is moving in your life. In the next 24 hours, 3 days, 7 days, and 14 days, I encourage you to watch for changes, not just in your circumstances, but in your spirit, your peace, your sense of hope, and the opportunities that may quietly present themselves. In the next 24 hours, pay attention to your inner world. Do you notice a new sense of calm, a release of anxiety, or a moment of unexpected kindness? Sometimes, the first sign of restoration is not a dramatic breakthrough, but a gentle shift in your mindset, a thought that brings peace, a conversation that encourages you, or a small provision that reminds you that you are seen. Take a moment to journal. What shifted in my mindset or circumstances today? As you move into the next 3 days, look for opportunities that may arise. These could be invitations, ideas, or connections that seem to come out of nowhere. You might receive a message from someone you haven't heard from in a while, or notice a door opening that was previously closed. The key is not to chase after every possibility, but to carry a posture of openness, trusting that what is for you will not pass you by. Journal your reflections. What new opportunities or connections have appeared in the past 3 days? At the 7-day mark, pause and reflect on your journey so far. Have you noticed any patterns breaking, any old fears losing their grip, any moments of unexpected provision? Sometimes, the greatest breakthroughs are internal, a new confidence, a deeper sense of trust, a willingness to let go of what no longer serves you. Write in your journal, what patterns have shifted, and where have I experienced provision or release this week? Finally, as you reach 14 days, look back over the entire period. Restoration often unfolds in layers, and what may seem small at first can become the foundation for greater change. Celebrate every step, every shift, every sign of progress. Even if the external circumstances haven't changed as much as you hoped, notice the growth within you, the resilience, the faith, the clarity that has taken root. Journal your insights. How have I grown, and what signs of restoration have I witnessed in these 14 days? Remember, Beloved, these checkpoints are not tests to pass or fail. They are gentle markers on your journey, reminders that you are moving forward, even when progress feels slow. The contrast between chasing and carrying is found in your willingness to trust the process, to rest in the assurance that release is coming, and to celebrate the small victories along the way. If you feel led, share one insight or shift in the comments below. Your story may be the encouragement someone else needs to keep going. You are not alone in this journey. You are part of a community that is learning to wait with hope, to notice the signs, and to celebrate every moment of release. As we continue, we'll explore how to discern what is truly for you, how to set healthy boundaries, and how to move forward without fear or confusion. For now, let these checkpoints be a source of encouragement, a way to honor your progress and to carry hope into each new day. Let's continue together, watching for the signs of restoration and trusting that what is meant for you is already on its way. Dear one, as you move forward on this journey of restoration, it's natural for questions and doubts to arise. You may find yourself wondering, what if nothing changes? What if I'm being deceived again? How do I know what's truly from God and what's just another empty promise? These are honest questions, and they deserve honest, compassionate answers. The path to clarity is not about silencing your doubts, but about learning to discern, about moving from confusion to clarity, from the sting of betrayal to the safety of protection. Confusion often creeps in when you are bombarded by conflicting messages, each one claiming to hold the key to your breakthrough. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, to second-guess your own intuition, to wonder if you're missing out on something important. But clarity is your birthright. Clarity comes when you pause, breathe, and remember that God is not the author of confusion. His guidance is gentle, steady, and rooted in love, not in fear or manipulation. Betrayal can leave deep wounds, especially when it comes from those you trusted or from messages that promised hope but delivered disappointment. But protection is always available to you. You are not left defenseless. The presence of God and His angels surrounds you, shielding you from harm and guiding you toward what is truly for your good. Even when you have been misled in the past, you are not destined to repeat those patterns. Each day is a new opportunity to choose discernment over doubt, protection over vulnerability. Let's address a common fear. What if I ignore a message and miss my blessing? Beloved, you are not at risk of losing what is truly yours by declining manipulative or fear-based invitations. True provision cannot be stolen from you. God's blessings are not fragile, nor are they dependent on your ability to decode every sign or respond to every urgent call. What is meant for you will find you, in peace and in perfect timing. Discernment is a gift you can cultivate. It begins with a simple pause, a moment to check in with your spirit before responding to any message, invitation, or opportunity. Ask yourself, does this bring peace or anxiety? Does it align with the character of God, gentle, loving, just, or does it pressure me with fear and urgency? Trust that the Spirit within you will guide you into all truth. Here is a practical boundary script you can use whenever you encounter a message that stirs fear or confusion. Thank you, but I choose peace and discernment. These words are a shield, a gentle but firm way to protect your heart and mind from manipulation. You do not owe anyone an explanation for choosing what brings you peace. You are allowed to set boundaries, to say no, to wait for clarity before moving forward. If you ever feel uncertain, return to the rituals and declarations you've learned. Speak truth over your life. Remind yourself that you are protected, that you are not alone, and that you have the right to wait for confirmation before taking action. Journaling your thoughts and feelings can also help you track patterns and notice when confusion is trying to creep in. As you continue, remember that discernment is not about perfection, it's about progress. Each time you choose clarity over confusion, protection over betrayal, you strengthen your spiritual muscles and prepare yourself for greater restoration. You are not alone in this. The God who loves you is patient, kind, and always working for your good. As we move toward the final step of this journey, let's hold on to the assurance that you are safe, you are guided, and you are free to walk in peace. The next chapter is about resolution and stepping fully into the vision of restoration that has been prepared for you. Let's continue together, trusting that clarity and protection are your companions every step of the way. Beloved, as we come to the close of this sacred journey together, let your heart rest in the assurance that restoration is not just a distant hope, it is a living promise, unfolding even now. You have walked through confusion and found clarity, faced delay, and discovered the first signs of release. Where scarcity once whispered that you would never have enough, now the gentle voice of overflow begins to rise within you. Where fear tried to hold you back, faith is calling you forward. This is your moment to step fully into the vision of restoration that has been prepared for you. Imagine, just for a moment, what your life could look like if you truly believed that overflow is possible, not just in your finances, but in your peace, your relationships, your sense of purpose. Scarcity is not your inheritance. You are called to overflow, to abundance, to a life marked by faith and not by fear. Let this be a time of gentle celebration. Every small shift, every new insight, every act of faith you have taken is a seed planted in the soil of restoration. You are not alone in this journey. There is a community of souls walking beside you, each one carrying their own hopes, their own stories, their own signs of breakthrough. Together, you form a tapestry of faith, a living testimony that restoration is real and available to all who seek it. As a ritual of faith and community, I invite you to share your hopes or any signs you've noticed in the comments below. Perhaps you've experienced a moment of unexpected peace, a new opportunity, or simply a sense that you are not alone. Your story, no matter how small it may seem, can be the encouragement someone else needs to keep believing. If you're ready to walk in restoration, type Amen or share your story below. Let your words be a declaration, a marker of your faith, and a blessing to others. Before you go, I encourage you to revisit your journal in 7 days. Look back on the shifts, the signs, the moments of clarity and provision that have unfolded. Celebrate every step, knowing that restoration is a journey, not a single event. Trust that what has begun in faith will continue to grow, and that overflow is your portion. Let's close with this final declaration: I am stepping out of scarcity and into overflow. I choose faith over fear. I am ready to walk in restoration. Let these words settle in your spirit, anchoring you in hope and opening the way for all that is yet to come. Thank you for sharing this journey. May you walk forward in peace, protected and provided for, surrounded by love, and confident in the restoration that is already unfolding in your life.